It's that time of the year again. Everyone is filming and posting about their collections, about their setups, what they enjoyed in this year and what they plan to use and enjoy in the next year. So I have jumped on the bandwagon and I will do my best to show you my take on what has inspired me this year and what I hope to be even more inspired by in the next. So welcome to my 2023 wrap-up video. This will be a little bit different than usually. As you can see, I do not have my journals and notebooks and planners in front of me. I have something that is really closely tied to my journaling hobby and my self-reflection practice and my spiritual practice, and something that has immensely marked this year for me. Even though I have been enjoying tarot and oracle cards and associative cards, metaphorical cards for a few years now, this year it took a whole new dimension, and I have to say I'm really grateful because I have been in a place of privilege where I was able to allow myself to do this deep dive, to explore, to allow myself to go out and really take a good look at what's available and find out what really brings joy to me. So this is the point of this video. I want to share my tarot and oracle card collection with you. Basically, I have laid out here everything I own when it comes to tarot and oracle cards. I must say at the beginning, there was more and there was less at times, because this year I decided I will be exploring this tool, this medium. And as I went on exploring, I have accumulated some things, discovered they are not for me, and then I have passed them along. Thankfully, the secondhand market is really good, so that was an easy endeavor. What I have here is the collection I have decided to keep at my desk and use. But of course, I still have a few slots open, or better to say, a few slots that may not be open at my desk, and I still have some decisions to make what will be part of my permanent collection. It's all a part of the process. I'm not sure what's the situation like where you're from, but in Croatia you cannot go to a store and you cannot experience any of these tools or any of the cards. You have to buy it and then you come home, and when you take off the shrink wrap, it's done. It's non-refundable. It's the same with online shops, most online shops. So there is no way to find out if you really like something, like a deck, except maybe exploring YouTube videos, reviews online, read articles, look at the pictures. And my brain needs to know how they feel. For my brain, it's not enough to see a picture, to read a review or watch a video. I need to feel the thing in my hands. The same goes for pouches, the same goes for my journals, for my covers. The texture of the leather matters, the crinkling of the paper matters, the feel of the fountain pen in my hand matters. And if you're anything like me, you will know what I'm talking about. And if you are not, hopefully you will just understand that we may all be different, and a lot of things can be true at the same time. So that being said, and with the previous mention of the thing I allowed myself to do this year is to explore the wonderful world of tarot, mainly. This is where we're at. So I will tidy this up a bit, and I will start reviewing and showing you each part of my collection one by one, and maybe tell you a little bit more about how I use it and what are my impressions, and hopefully you will find it useful. maybe in making decisions what to add or not to add to your own collection, or what you want to experience in your life, in your practice. And yeah, let's get this going. Okay, I want to start off with showing you my, I would say, first ever tarot deck I've fallen in love with. It's the Lilifer Tarot. It's not the first tarot deck I owned, but the ones I ordered first ever were a complete mess. Actually, I ordered a tarot deck with animals, and in the meantime, I've learned that I really, really enjoy having people in my cards. I don't feel a powerful association or being able to interpret a card that's relatable to me if there are only animals in the deck. So the Audience Tarot I purchased, and Guardians of the Night Tarot I purchased very, very early on when I first discovered tarot, and how it could be used as a metaphorical associative card and a tool for self-reflection was a complete mess, but that's the part of the journey. Not soon after, I discovered the Lilifer Tarot, and this is the deck that really it has a bit of nostalgia for me, because it's the first I was like, wow, wow, that's what I wanted. That's what I felt I needed at the time. The illustrations are gorgeous. It's a mass market deck. It's readily available all over the place. I really, really deeply resonate with the art and the bright colors. I edged mine with markers in this corally pink color. So I have to apologize, my voice is weird because I have a bit of a cold. So I will be pausing through the video to cough and save you from hearing my sniffles. So this deck has a special place in my heart, and it will always be in my collection. I have one pet peeve about it, and it's regarding the cardstock. The cards are pretty big. That's not such a big issue, but they are thick and they are flexible, but they don't spring back. At first, I didn't even know that there are so many different cardstock options available, and I just thought tarot cards are like that. That was my first experience. And not long after, I found out there are so many options out there, and I actually found my favorite, which is linen cardstock. We'll get back to that. But if this deck was available in linen cardstock and in maybe just a smidgen of a smaller size that could be more comfortable to shuffle, I like to riffle shuffle my decks, that would be amazing. And Chris-Anne, if any time in this video, if this ever comes up to you, whatever way, please consider. I know it's just been recently till when the pocket size in a tin has been released, but I have seen that deck. The cardstock is thinner, but it's just not it. This deserves like premium cardstock. But that's just my little impression. So for the second deck, I want to show you a deck of cards that will never leave my collection. And if I could only have two decks in my life, it would be the Lilifer, and it would be this one. It is the Waite Smith, and this is a vintage deck. It's actually from 74 or 75. It's the plaid back one that comes in that blue box. It's a beautiful blue box from cardboard. It's a beautiful illustration. I don't have it here. I keep mine in a pouch. This deck is really gorgeous, and the cardstock is amazing, even though it's not, it feels like it's not even laminated. But the deck is special to me because Pamela Coleman Smith illustrations really come to life here, and the lines are gorgeous. It's very clean. The colors are not muted, but they are kind of pastel-y. The yellow is not strong, so that's a plus. Unfortunately, a lot of the new reproductions of this deck, and there are many of them, are quite plasticky and heavily laminated, and the colors are too bright for my taste. So this is actually gorgeous, and I love riffle shuffling this deck so much because it's standard tarot size. It's something that's a good fit for me, and it shuffles amazingly. It's very, very satisfying, and smooth feel of the cards with no plasticky feel of the lamination. So this deck is my learning deck and a way to enjoy Pamela Coleman Smith illustrations. Next, I will show you something really similar, something I got just last week. It's actually a playing card deck, but it's not your usual playing card deck because it has the major arcana included. But it is in this little, what is that, poker size or pocket size? I'm not sure. It does have a laminated feel. It has a bit of shine, but they feel nice. This is by US Games, and we can enjoy those beautiful Pamela Coleman Smith illustration and almost muted colors and very pretty lines. There's no bleeding in the lines or anything that's blurry. It's a really beautiful print, but the thing is, the major arcana is included. You can take away the major arcana and move the knights or the pages, and you have yourself a deck of playing cards. Okay, so pentacles are diamonds, cups are hearts, the spades are the knives, and the wands are the clubs. And you can play your game. And there's even a guide, there's even a guide how to play the tarot game if you want. So these are nice and small and compact, and this is something that I got like an option to maybe take with me because it's pretty portable. But it goes in the category of the Waite Smith decks. These are the same illustrations basically. Okay, moving on. How to categorize this? Okay, this one deck is really, really gorgeous. It's something that has recently joined my collection. I actually got a deck for Christmas. It's wrapped and I can show it to you. But this deck is from the same creator, from Zaara, at Kittenchops. You can find her on Instagram, and she has her web shop. This is the first deck, as far as I know, that she designed, and it's called the Playful Heart. And this deck has been on my wish list for months, and I have resisted it. But then she released the Speak Tarot. It's a Marseille-based tarot deck with pips, of course. And this is a gift for Christmas that I said I can't show you because it's wrapped and ready for to be put under the tree. But when I got the Speak, I took a little peek inside, and I fell so in love with the illustration style, the quality, the cardstock. This is the linen cardstock, and I'm not sure if it's gonna show. Hopefully it will, but the linen cardstock is thin, it's flexible, it's beautiful for shuffling, for riffle shuffling, and it has little dots. And the little dots, they create texture on the cards, and it makes a really pleasant tactile experience. This is what I say, I have to touch the deck, I have to see the cards in person, the printing, I need to feel them. This is why it's so important for me to have them in my hands, to be able to determine, will I enjoy working with them or not. A tool does not only have to be useful. For me, it has to be aesthetically pleasing and it has to be functional in the way I want to use it. That's just the way I prefer it. So beautiful linen finish. This deck is on the larger size compared to the standard Waite Smith. You can see it's a bit bigger. And that is not a huge issue for me because I don't have tiny hands, but it is trickier for me to shuffle. I can do it, but it's trickier. Can you hear it? That sound from the linen cardstock. I edged the deck myself with markers. That's why it's so colorful. So that is the Playful Heart. And this is new. I have not worked with it yet. I have not used it except to go through the cards and admire them. And I cannot tell you much more except that I love the illustration style. I love the cardstock, the way they feel, and I'm looking forward to getting to know them. From the decks I have worked with, I want to show you the Tarot of the Abyss by Hanna Tourian. It comes with a very interesting guidebook and it's quite thick. And the deck is specific because it's black and white. I don't usually feel attracted to black and white illustration, but this one is really, it's really something else. I got attracted to the characters in the deck. It seems very personal. It seems like those people kind of want to tell you something, and it's a beautiful style of illustration. Hanna Tourian work is amazing. It really feels there's a lot of emotion portrayed in this illustration, like little works of art. And that is why I decided to include it in my collection. Again, I edged it myself with markers. That's why it's colorful. I assign a color to each of the suits and major arcana, and then when you shuffle it, you get this. This is, again, a mass market deck, but it's produced by US Games, and the cardstock is really, really durable. It seems it is laminated, but it's not plastic, it's not sticky. And it shuffles great. For riffle shuffling, it feels a bit stiff to me, but we'll see what will happen over time, but it's manageable. So this is the deck I have worked with and have a pleasant experience. Another deck I have worked with and have pleasant experience is the Selflove Tarot, created by Hanna. From Poland, I believe, and this deck is at the same time the most beautifully illustrated deck with watercolors and I think mixed media. And I love looking at this image, and on the downside, it's so hard to work with it because the pips here, the minor arcana, it's just so pippish. Look at this. I really learned I do enjoy a good scene in a deck, and that's just something that has become my comfort zone, and that is exactly why I except for it being gorgeous, but that's one of the reasons why I decided to get the Peep Speak Tarot by Zaara at Kittenchops, and maybe learn a bit more about Marseille style decks, because hopefully it will open up new horizons. I have heard that when you can get comfortable with reading pips, the readings or the interpretations, the associations of the cards can get more free and not bound by some maybe scenic interpretation. And that's definitely something I want to explore. This deck is so beautiful, and even though it's shiny and a bit heavy in lamination, the cards are actually a joy to shuffle, and the shininess suits this style of illustration, in my opinion, beautifully, because there's gold gilding and the colors pop. I mean, some decks just look beautiful shiny, and that's why we have all these options. Beautiful work and beautiful illustration by Hanna. Okay, moving on to another deck I have worked with a lot and I adore it. And it's a little bit different than the other ones I've shown you. And this is called the Marielle Tarot. And this is again another pretty shiny deck. It's not very shiny, but it is laminated. And regarding cardstock, it's like the most flexible one I have ever seen. It almost looks like it's flimsy, but before we get to see the images, look at this. It's a gorgeous size. This for me, I don't know why this tactile part is so important to me, but to shuffle this deck, it's like a heavenly experience. I adore it, and I wouldn't change a thing about the cardstock, even though for some it may seem flimsy or too shiny or too thin. I mean, I love it. I will probably wear down this deck and it will disintegrate. I will just get another. Thankfully, it's mass market. You can get it at a lot of places, but I will shuffle this deck. Really, it's a meditative experience for me, and the tactile part of it, it's really something that is appealing to me and makes me want to work with this deck even more. And not to talk about the very, very evocative images, and they are very strong and bold, and they bring up so many emotions and reflections. That's why it has a special place in my heart. It's a very special deck of cards to me, and the associations they bring up, it's also very special to me. So probably this would go in the pile, never giving it up. Never, never. Always want to have it in my collection. Okay, moving forward. Another deck I have worked with, but it goes in the category of the Selflove Tarot, the ladies in watercolor illustration, the Lilifer Tarot. So when it comes to matte cardstock, this takes all the prizes. I have seen a fair amount of card decks, but okay, not as much as a lot of other people. But this cardstock, can you hear that? It's matte, but the cards feel so pleasant, and like there's no texture, but there is. I don't know how to describe it. The size is perfect. This is smaller than standard tarot size. I know some people appreciate this comparison, that's why I'm doing it. So as you can see, it's as wide as standard tarot, but a bit shorter, which is actually the most perfect size for my hands. My hands are not small, but they are not huge. So when you shuffle this deck, it just perfect sound for a matte cardstock, perfect spring back, perfect size, and not to say the deck is beautiful, but the same as the Selflove, you can enjoy the beautiful, beautiful illustration, but the minor arcana, the pips are pippish. And that's something that causes a bit of trouble for me, and I don't want it to be so, because I feel I need to deep dive that and allow myself to be more free in bringing up association and my own vision of a card, even though there's not a complete scene, even though there's just some fish and a guy. I mean, you could tell a story. You can tell a lot of stories with these cards. And I enjoy this art style. The Marion Constentin is the maker, the illustrator. And I mean, these are works of art, if you ask me. Watercolor illustrations. The cards are gorgeous. The edging is, again, by me. I have this preference. I really like to edge cards. So this goes into the category with the self-love. And that will be the same with the Pipish decks that I have worked with, but I still struggle because I need to work on Pipish decks. One more card deck that falls into the Pipish category, but not quite. This is actually a gift from a friend, and I still can't believe, I don't know how I deserved such a generous gift, and I can't say thank you enough. But these are the Pagan Otherworlds. And again, it's a bigger deck. It's linen cardstock. The backs are gorgeous. It's so beautiful. These are oil on wood panels, oil paintings on wood panels, all done by hand. The titles are done with fountain pen. And I mean, these are, I could frame these and put on my wall. And it's art, it's pure art. And oh my God, I love it so much. It's beautiful, a beautiful, beautiful deck of cards. But again, the pips are pippish. But there is a kind of a scene. You get a bit of background. Let me just show you. I mean, the Ace of Pentacles, it's ornate. It does tell you stuff. But see what I mean? Three of Pentacles. There is something there that you can jump off of the landscape. What's going on here? Why is there a skull? Why is there a castle? There's just some wood that's dying, decaying here. This gives you a bit more, I feel. This gives you a bit more of context, and you can jump off of that. That's why I have worked with the Pagan Otherworlds, and I do feel it's a bit easier to work with them than maybe the other two. But it does go into my, oh my God, it has pips and I'm scared category. Okay, let me just zoom through here and see, have I missed anything? I think I can go on to the, oh, of course, Avisomnia. This deck was created by Orla from Croatia, from Zagreb actually. I had an honor to meet her at a fair and buy her cards. So she is a Croatian deck designer, among other things. She's a beautiful artist, and you can check her out on her Instagram or webpage and see what she does. Her work is amazing, not just the tarot work. Again, I edged this in like a pale lilac, so it doesn't come edged. Her deck is very abstract to me. I have worked with it a little bit, a very little bit, because as much as I enjoy these cards, kind of don't speak to me in a way that I would maybe find comfortable. But the art in the cards, it's stunning, and I sometimes just take this deck and go through the cards and enjoy the art, and that's it. Sometimes I do just that. The thing is, the way I use tarot cards, maybe I look for a lot of stimulus in a certain card that I pull that I can jump off of, and maybe sometimes this feels like it's not enough, or I'm not in the mood to try so hard. It's kind of laziness factor maybe, but there is a lot actually to go off of. But sometimes I want to and feel I need to make things easier on myself. That's why this one is again in the pippish category, and waiting for better days and waiting for me to not be so lazy and comfortable. But I really enjoy looking at the pictures and enjoying the art. There's just some things and some decks and tools in stationery and journals that you just keep in your collection because you know their time will come. And there are just some things that you do not keep because you know there will never be a time, I mean, in some foreseeable future, or depending on the way you know yourself and your preferences, and you're able to say, okay, I don't see myself enjoying this, and this is not for me. So this falls into the category, I will enjoy this more often in the future. Have we covered all the tarot cards? No, we have not. Now we're on to the category new decks I still have not worked with. This is a beautiful deck I got secondhand. Oh, I didn't mention, a lot of these decks I got secondhand. Being on Facebook buy-sell trade groups or eBay, some kind of a German marketplace online I found. A lot of these decks are secondhand, and that's a plus because you can get them really affordable, or you can even trade. So that's perfect. Okay, this deck is called Sacred Sisterhood, I think. And I really fell for these illustrations and the theme, and the guidebook is pretty good. I haven't read it through entirely, but it seems pretty interesting. And I'm looking forward to working with this deck in the new year. The Sacred Sisterhood, I mean, the name tells you a lot already. And it's Waite Smith based, and the pips are, well, scenic enough. These are the backs. They're gorgeous. And yeah, got it secondhand from a nice lady. She gave me a really fair price, and she even gifted me this pouch to go with it, which is amazing. And thank you so much. If by any chance you stumble upon this video, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the fair pricing and the gift. It's always nice to be able to give something a new home and actually give something to someone else if you're not using it. Another deck of cards I have not worked with yet because I'm scared of it. But the art is amazing. So it's called oh my god, what's the name? Carnival at the End of the World. Yes. So this is not your standard tarot deck. In this cards you get a character or multiple characters doing something, and it does have the structure, the major arcana, the minor arcana, the suits. But these are actually little works of art that have been made for an exhibition and then turned into a tarot deck. And there's a beautiful guidebook that's actually been written like short stories for each of the cards. And the stories are really whimsical. And this is not something I would use necessarily in the way I use tarot, but I would use it like pull a card for fun and read the story and see how it reflects on, I don't know, a certain topic or what I'm thinking about that day. Sorry, I had to pause for a coughing fit. I really apologize. The cards are linen again. It's that larger format like the Pagan Otherworlds. I think the same factory probably makes it. And the backs are beautiful. It shuffles the same as the Pagan Otherworlds. And I still have it in this tag box. I really don't like tag boxes because I feel I will break it. And probably when I start using it, I will move it into a pouch or something. So these two are brand new to me and still unused, unexplored. And all I can say is the artwork is beautiful. The cardstock is nice. This cardstock is also really nice. And looking forward to working with them. And did I miss something? Did I miss? Yes. Another one that is brand new to me is the Cosmic Slumber. And to be honest, this was kind of an impulse buy. It was really affordable. And I was intrigued by the illustrations. The cardstock is very glossy. I mean, it's the glossiest one I have ever seen. The illustrations are very colorful and bright and strong. Some pips are pippish, but not a lot. The colors really, they really kind of make me happy. And I also edged the deck in bright neon colors. So this is again one I'm looking forward to explore and then decide if it is or if it is not for me. The guidebook is here in this box. I have not read through it. It's really thin, so I'm not sure how much it has to offer, but this is rather Waite Smith based. You can jump off of that, and we'll see. Not much to say about these cards, except the box is gorgeous. It's an interesting design of the box because you get these two parts. Put this here, and you get this satisfying magnet flip, and this is the way you can keep your cards. So we have 3 decks in my collection that I have not much to say because I have not worked with them, but looking forward to working with them. And regarding Oracle cards, I do not work much with Oracle cards, but I can show you these. These are by Kem CR, and these are archetypes. What's the full name? The guidebook. Okay, the Wild Unknown Archetypes. This is the guidebook. I have read a fair amount of this guidebook even without pulling the cards, and it's so interesting, and it gives you prompts for thinking, for journaling, for watching videos, for exploring books. I edged this deck quite messily actually, so please don't think it comes like this. The cards are round, the cardstock is matte, they are pleasant, they are impossible to shuffle in any usual way. You just have to kind of find your way around it. And there's lots of collaging here and beautiful colors and really, really interesting visual art style here. And I'm not sure why I don't use them more often, because now every time I pull them out and look at them, I'm like, wow, and beautiful work. And I did a couple of journaling sessions with them. Oops, sorry. And it has been amazing. The insights are wonderful. And again, you can jump off of the card and off of the guidebook and explore a whole another universe. Okay, last Oracle deck, the second one I have, and the last one I have was again a gift from the same beautiful person that gifted me the Pagan Otherworlds. This is the Supra Oracle, and I have not touched it since she gifted it to me because, oops, it's upside down. I didn't even shuffle it because I'm so mesmerized by the beautiful artwork here. I mean, the Uusi studio makes It's art. I don't know what to say. My heart sings. But I have been so intimidated by this oracle deck, and every day I say I will pull a card. I will pull a card. I will read the guidebook, and every day is, oh my God, I don't know if I'm ready to jump into this, because you can see even by the keywords, this feels so deep, and I'm a bit scared, but I promise I will. And I promise I will film a video or put up a post on Instagram to share my insights from that experience. The cardstock is the same size as the Pagan Otherworlds, but it is not linen finish. It's like a gloss, not a gloss. It's, I don't know how to call it. It's not glossy, it's semi-glossy maybe. I'm not sure. Okay. The one thing I did not cover is all the guidebooks that come with these cards. So I will try to pull this here. This is kind of like a wooden tray I have. And these are just some of the guidebooks. The Marielle, the guidebook from the Sacred Sisterhood, Archetypes. This is from the Carnival at the End of the World, Pagan Otherworlds, the dreaded Supra Oracle. This is from the Selflove, the beautiful watercolor deck, and I still have a couple of on my desk that just don't fit here in the space where I'm filming. So one more thing that's a huge benefit from deep diving this particular set of tools for my self-reflection practice and spiritual practices. I read a lot of books lately. I read a whole lot of books. I also listen to audiobooks. I have read a lot of books on tarot in general. So in my previous videos, you can also hear me talk a bit more about those kind of books and guides I use to deep dive this topic. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was comprehensible. I thought you managed to get a feel of what I enjoy using here. And again, I have to emphasize, this year I have been extremely privileged in being able to enjoy the abundance of experimenting with all of these decks and all of the tarot cards that have passed through my hands. Some have moved on. This is what's currently on my desk, and I will do my best to keep you updated if anything changes or if I stumble upon something that really blows my mind. This video didn't cover anything about my practice and how I use those tools. Some previous videos touched upon that topic. They will touch upon again in the future. This was mostly show and tell. Let's look at the pretty pictures. Let's see what brought me joy this year and hopefully bring even more joy next year. Speaking of next year and the holiday season, I wish you all the best and lots of love, compassion, and just feeling comfortable in this world, even though it's so hard. But let's try to find comfort in each other and in our compassions and heart spaces and bring some light into the world, even just for so briefly. And from my heart, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me in these rambles. I feel our connection, even through the screen and even through the messages. I feel our connection, and thank you for that. Means a lot. See you next time. Bye.